Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, man. Whoo! Holy! My biggest fear has now become a reality. Lord. So, he's claimed that he's seen the Superman movie, okay? And this is Movie TV Mad. I don't know who the brother is, but I got recommended, so I'm just doing the reaction. So let's see what he got to say. But I'm scared. I'm really scared, but let's hear this.
I am so nervous about making this video. Welcome back to Movies TV Mad and Thursday's edition of the DCU Daily. Yes, I have seen Superman finally.
Yes,
Now, it wasn't my plan to see it before everybody else.
Okay.
My plan was to go and see it on opening day back to back. There's a viewing at 5 o'clock, then there's another viewing around 7, 8 o'clock, whenever it is, and I was going to watch them back to back. I am still going to do that because I still need to make a spoiler review. This is not a spoiler review. These are my non-spoiler thoughts about James Gunn's Superman. This film is okay, good, brilliant, bad, awful, cringe, all at the same time. It genuinely is. I don't think anyone reviewing this movie is going to find it easy to say it's good, it's great, I love it, it's bad, it stinks, it's cringe. It's all of those things. It genuinely is. There is no doubt that this is a James Gunn movie. It's got him all over it. And there lies the problem. Now, James Gunn has never been the best at dialogue, but this dialogue brings a new definition to cringe. The dialogue in this movie is one of its biggest problems. It is horrible. And the person who gets saddled with most of the bad dialogue is Superman. But some of the things he has Superman saying are Superman type of things, but the execution of the way that Superman is speaking...
We can see it in the trailers. We can legit see... I believe him, man. Like I told you, like for me, I'm gonna just step out of the chair. I'm like... That was shit. Okay. I'll walk away. That's how I'm gonna feel. Because from the trailers, anytime I see Superman just talking, bro, it's just cringe.
The tone is terrible. I have watched mostly all Superman live action. I haven't seen all of the George Reeves show. I haven't seen all of the Dean Cain show. And I haven't seen all of Tyler Hoechling's Superman and Lois. But I've enjoyed, low-key, high-key, whatever, all the live-action Superman to this point on television and on film.
I'm scared.
And I never felt that any of these versions felt un-Superman. The character that was the biggest issue for me in this film was Superman. It's like he's trying to make him Superman, but he fails at making him Superman. And a lot of it is the dialogue, which is utterly problematic. But it's also Superman's attitude in this movie. Arthur Gunn has had a total misunderstanding on who and what this character is, or he purposely wanted to make a fool out of Superman. One of the biggest problems you're going to find is Superman's attitude. Now, we've spoken about this repeatedly. We've spoken about the Clark Lois Superman interview that's supposed to echo back to the Superman 78 interview, and it certainly doesn't do that. The Superman 78 interview on Lois Lane's balcony is fucking beautiful. Okay. I don't care if you're a Donna lover, Donna hater, Snyder fan, Snyder hater, part of the Snyder cult, whatever you call yourselves, whatever side of the net you go to sleep at night. You must admit that Superman and Lois interview scene on Lois's balcony is fucking perfection. It's fucking brilliant. It's serious, but it's also very, very humorous at the same time. I can still watch it and get the feels. It's fucking amazing.
Okay, let's see
This
first.
interview scene
We got one
between
positive. This is good.
Lois and Superman is problematic. Now, he's decided to be Superman, but he's, you know, it's weird. It's weird. She's challenging him. She's trying to be a proper journalist, a proper interviewer. So she's challenging him, and he doesn't like it. As I said earlier, some of the things he's saying make sense from the point of view of Superman, but the execution is all wrong. He's shouting at Lois every time she challenges him. This, my friends, isn't my Superman. Isn't the Superman that I grew up with. Now, a lot of people said that with Man of Steel and Henry Cavill. I didn't. I understood what Man of Steel was attempting to do. It was trying to make a modern day Superman, a post 9/11 Superman. One of
Just before we finish this, okay, or keep going, I'm gonna just let this straight out, okay. Zack Snyder's take on Superman was not bad, okay. It wasn't what we needed at that time. It was too dark. Henry Cavill had no personality. That's kind of where I got, that discouraged me from whatever Snyder had to put out for Superman, because he just didn't have any. It was just boring, like, for real. So his Superman is good. It's just you need to give him more. You need to make him make him hopeful, But what I'm hearing from this is just ridiculous, man. Superman just being insecure, just like what I said in my videos. Attitude. What does James Gunn understand who Superman is, bro? Like, if Superman is giving attitude like this, okay, it's problematic, because I will be on Lex's side, bro. For real. So please, y'all should understand. We're not being biased here. I'm just telling you what it is. I want the Superman from the animated Justice League. That's what I want. Well, I'm not getting it done.
the best things was that Superman in Man of Steel doesn't overspeak. Something that Nolan and Goya found a lot of criticism for doing. But I think that's right. I actually think that Clark Kent is a man of very few spoken words. He's a journalist, he writes a lot, but he doesn't find it easy to speak as Clark Kent. That's all part of the disguise. I mean, even as a young man, he's a little bit more, he doesn't say, even in Smallville, he talks, but he doesn't talk. He doesn't overly speak. Go back and watch Smallville. Go back and watch the Jules Reeves show, the Dean Cain show, Superman and Lois, And this is what I'm saying. I don't have deep issues with anything that's been done in past live action Superman. I don't watch anything and say, oh, this is cringe. I hate this. This is awful. I mean, and some people do, but I don't. Even Superman 4 had a great speech from Christopher Reeve's Superman, both at the UN and at the end when he has to explain why he made a mistake to try and rid the world of nuclear weapons. That's a film that had its budget withdrawn. You can see the kind of production values are terrible because they had no money, but actually the writing wasn't that bad, and it's still quite an enjoyable movie if you ignore kind of the low production values of the movie. Now this movie spent around the same, I think, as Man of Steel, 225 million, that's the average. It may have spent a lot more on marketing. I guess we'll never know that. But Superman is the biggest problem of this movie.
No, bro.
And the biggest problem of a Superman movie can't be Superman.
That's the
and
thing.
There lies the problem. Now, people are going to tell you, well, David Cornsweet, Rachel Brosnahan, Nicholas Hoult, all the actors delivered their performances. They did so well. And people will say that like they didn't have to deliver a good performance if they didn't want to. But it's their job. They get the script, they memorize it, and they deliver that script on the way their director wants it to do. I'm an actor, I'm a director on an amateur level. I write, direct, and perform in my plays with my amateur dramatic society. And the reason my audiences here in IANAPA enjoy my plays is because I act with my amateur dramatic society as well as direct them. That means they see me as an equal, and they're quite happy to say to me, we're not happy about this, Mick, can we change this? And if my actors are not happy about something, I'll find a way around it. I'm not one of those directors who says, look up in the sky, say blue, because that's what I want you to do. And so basically, if an actor does a bad job, it's the director's fault. If my actors do a bad job, it's my fault. Never blame an actor. I always hear people saying, oh, this is a bad actor. There's no such thing as a bad actor. Anyone can act to a certain level, you know, with a good director who's got great communication skills. So the acting isn't the problem in this movie. I think this movie is pretty, let's say, solidly cast. I would say the problems in this movie are the writing. Now, the things that I love, as I said earlier, because I've seen The Fortress of Solitude in the trailers, of course, The Fortress of Solitude is stunning. There is no question about that. But what about the Justice Gang and Crypto? I find the Justice Gang and Crypto, mostly in this film, a petty annoyance. Especially Guy Gardner. He really fucking got on my nerves. I'm not going to lie to you. He really just annoyed me. He was just so cringe. If you watch Guy Gardner, read him in the comics. Watch him in the animated Justice League or whatever he's in. I've seen him in animation before. He's not annoying. He's a bit, you know, he's a bit abrasive. He's aggressive. He's an alpha. He's supposed to be those things, but you like him. You're entertained by him. I don't really understand what Gunn was trying to do here. It's too goofy. A lot of this movie is too goofy because that's the way Gunn writes. But being goofy was fine in the Guardians trilogy, in the Suicide Squad, in Peacemaker. I think his goofiness works on those projects. But as I pre-warned months earlier, I said, this is Superman. Superman can't be goofy. People are going to say, well, Superman 78 is goofy. Not in that way. Let's be absolutely clear about that. The Superman 78 camp and goofiness isn't the same as in this movie. As I said on the top of the show, this is a movie that's a great number of things. I don't believe this is a film that anyone's going to totally love or totally hate. They're going to... I suppose in a way it's a little bit like Superman Returns, although I think Superman Returns, by the way, is a better film. I will say that straight off the bat. I don't think this Superman film is better than any Superman live action TV show or movie.
Holy
in reality.
Shit.
All right, you can say the production values are better than Superman 4, but this film's biggest problem is James Gunn. He totally just remained James Gunn. Now, they've removed a lot of humour in this film. This film was going to be a lot more goofier and funnier originally. That's what Gunn wanted. And WB said, oh, no, you don't. Now, we know that teaser trailer removed a lot of comedy. There's a reason why that first teaser trailer was so good, because there was no dialogue. I can't remember, was it?
Yo, even the dialogue with Lex in the trailers, so cringe. It doesn't feel like a villain. Like, you know, when I hear the voice. Y'all remember the first time Thanos said, he said something in the trailer of Infinity War, said, I know, you know, is it my snap of my finger, y'all will cease to it. That was just like, whoa, I want to hear more. The voice was menacing, you know. But Lex Luthor's like, that's an it. With a stupid ass costume. It's like, dude, what is this? The Lex from the animated Justice League is menacing. People were looking for that kind of Superman and, you know, universe like that of the animated Justice League, but we're not getting that, bro. I don't think Nicholas Hoult is the right cast for Lex. I just think he's too young. I think he doesn't really look like a villain. Like, you know what I mean? There's a look to a villain, you know, but it's just sad, bro.
Is there any dialogue at all? I can't remember.
Elf
but basically, no dialogue. Nobody speaks. And that's why that first teaser really worked. But as we got into the other trailers and characters started to say things, that's when the problems begun. And as I watched this film, as I opened up, as I watched the enjoyable fight with the kaiju, for example, it was really good. And I enjoyed that. I want to see Superman fighting a kaiju, it's random. One of the worst things about the movie are the interactions between Superman and Lex Luthor. Again, the dialogue lets Nick and David down. Nicholas Hoult and David Corenswet. Again, it's nothing to do with the actors. They can only do as they're told. There's not much freedom here. Gunn will claim that he's open, but he ain't that open. This is a James Gunn movie in every sense of the word. And the exchanges, especially one exchange between, I think it might even be the first exchange between Superman and Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor, I found it terrible. I really did. It kind of tried to harken back to that moment in Superman 78 when Superman pushes the door open and Lex says, my attorney will be in contact with you about the damage to the door, which I think is great. And it really works. And then he tells Otis to take the gentleman's cape. And Chris just gives Ned Beatty this brilliant filthy look. And it's brilliant. And it works. But this scene I'm talking about, as I say this, I'm not giving you any spoilers, because that wouldn't be fair. These are really early screenings, and no one, I don't want to see anyone on Reddit or whatever you say it, giving away. And I think a lot's going to be given away about this movie now. People are going to be leaking the shit out of this movie, but not on Movies TV Mad. I think that Corenswet and Brosnahan have got a good, solid chemistry. I do not believe this is the chemistry of Reeve and Kidder, of Joranson Welling, or Dean Cain and Terry Hatcher, who had some of the best Lois and Clark sex appeal ever. I don't think Gunn's particularly good at romance anyway. He seems to like romance, but he doesn't seem to be able to do it very well. And also, this is a film that uses Superman to launch a connected universe. There will be some surprises for you all in this movie. I am not going to tell you what those surprises are. There will be a full review, a spoiler review. When I've seen this film back to back on opening day, the following day I should be able to record a very long, extensive spoiler review. And I'm really looking forward to doing that. Am I disappointed in this film? Do I love it? Would I recommend it? You should definitely go and see it for yourselves, because that's the only way you're going to know how you feel about it, especially if you're a Superman fan. You need to go and see this movie. Maybe you'll love it. Maybe you'll love it, hate it, loathe it, and derive it all at the same time as I do. Because I can't tell you that I hate it or love it. It's not left or right, because we live in a very black and white kind of era. People on the internet, it sucks, it's great, it sucks. It's the best thing ever. It's the best thing since Silence of the Lambs or whatever, right? I can't say that. I'm sorry, I can't. I can't tell you whether it's good or bad.
Was funny.
Because it's all of those things. It's all of those things. It's good, bad, at the same time, which makes it very difficult to review. There are some really good things about this movie. This movie attempts to wear its heart on its sleeve, especially with Superman. The problem is the execution of Superman's passion simply doesn't work. I'll never forget Superman versus the Elite, the animated adaptation of those graphic novels, when Superman makes that whole speech to Manchester Black, telling him he will never become like him, after he made him think that he killed his people and went dark.
That's what I'm telling you,
it's an amazing moment, and the actor, and I can't...
That's what I'm telling you, animation, they always get it right. They always get it right, bro. Tell me one Superman animated film that you didn't like. Go ahead, I'm waiting. They always get it right, but live action, they just must do something that will just piss everybody off. Why? I do believe that we should get the same, directors, writers for the animated, for the live action. I think that would be something that should be in consideration moving forward with all the studios, because even for the MCU, it's the same. Well, I don't watch MCU animation. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know nothing about that. But for DC, I recommend. Like I I always enjoy the animation. For some reason, I always do. But live action is always a question mark.
I remember, was it George Newborn? I can't remember. But basically, the way the actor executes the dialogue, the way it's written, is so fucking Superman. And you're going like this, yeah, Superman doesn't kill, baby, and this is why he doesn't kill, and this is great, and this is brilliant, and it works. For a modern audience, by the way. Well, none of the dialogue that Superman exudes in this movie is on that level. It's way below that level. As I've said,
Man,
one of the
that's
major
wild,
problems
bro.
of this movie is Gunn's dialogue.
Damn.
And even though there are some things that I enjoyed,
It's
there are
over with.
some appearances that I enjoyed. For example, I would say that Mr. Terrific is my favourite member
Oh,
of the
okay.
Justice Gang.
Okay,
Because
something
he's
positive.
not cringy. That's the thing.
Because he's not
Gunn
cringe.
didn't write him as cringy as the others. I mean, Hulk Girl.
She ain't hot girl, bro. To me.
I'm sorry to say this, and I love Hulk Girl. I love seeing her in Justice League, the animated series. I thought she was great. But
Yeah, I know.
this doesn't feel like Hulk Girl to me. She's wearing the costume, but I'm not feeling it. So as I say,
She looks like a
this
kid.
film isn't bad, good, or cringe. It's all of those things at the same time. I want you to comment down below and let me know what you think of my opinions of this movie. Considering you haven't seen this movie yet, remember that. Remember that I have. I've been very responsible in not telling you any secrets about this movie. I think that's very, very important.
You did a good
But
job.
from the very, very beginning, I made it clear to all of you that I would be honest about this movie. And in this video, I've given you some non-spoiler faults. I have been absolutely honest about those faults. But one's opinion on films evolves. So once I've seen it back to back twice on opening day, maybe my views on it will change. I have no idea. But we will get to the spoiler review in a couple of weeks' time, and I'm excited to do that for you. But today, I'm a bit underwhelmed. Underwhelmed because I saw a lot.
Shit.
There's a lot in this movie. There's a lot in this movie, and it has a very, very short runtime, which is also a huge problem. It's an overstuffed film. There's no look. Let's be honest about that. Sometimes when people call a film overstuffed, like Batman vs Superman, that was bollocks. That film wasn't overstuffed. Batman Returns was accused of being overstuffed. That's bollocks as well. This film is absolutely overstuffed, and Gunn tried to compare it to the Nolan movie. What was it called? I forgot. Nolan's previous movie before the one he's making. What is it called? Anyway, he tried to say that that movie has more supporting characters than Superman. That's a huge difference. Those characters weren't squeezed in to connect to an extended connected universe, my friend. That's the only reason they're in there. Plus, you're obsessed with groups of people. And that's the problem. The point of Superman is he's an individual. He has Jimmy. He has Perry. He has Lois. He has Mara and Pa Kent. He has his biological parents. He has his friends from Smallville. But the best live-action Superman has been able to have Superman be a solo character. In Smallville, he's a solo character, but he also has his friends. But there's a part of Clark in Smallville that's very private and very personal. And some of the stuff he goes through in that show is between him and us. That's one of the things that kind of made me relate to Superman as a kid. Because we were kind of the only ones who knew who he was, and that was something special between us and our hero. And this is one of the problems with James Gunn's version of Superman. But there are a lot of problems with this movie. There are a lot of good things with this movie, and that's the problem. Because this movie should have been a home run. It didn't need to be Man of Steel. It didn't want to be Man of Steel. It needed to be a basic, easy to watch movie. And unfortunately, it certainly isn't that.
Oh boy.
Bridge.
Yo, I knew it, bro. Let's just put it right here.
To watch a movie.
Oh,
And unfortunately, it certainly isn't that.
man. Am I surprised? No. Do I wish it was different? Yes. But from everything I've seen in the trailer, I'm not surprised. I'm just not because I look, listen, y'all. When I watched Suicide Squad, I said if Gunn ever direct a live action movie, it'll be the end of DC. Okay, because Suicide Squad was the worst movie I ever watched. I'd rather watch Batman v Superman. I'd rather watch Superman Returns. I'm talking about all these bad movies in the past than Suicide Squad. That movie was so bad. I hated it so much. So this is who Gon is. Like Gon, I mean, Creature Commandos. Creature Commandos was it was good because it's animation. For some reason, animation just works. Like because maybe they have more time to invest. I don't know. But in live action, nah, man. And I think I know why he said Gon likes to do stuff in groups, because all his life he's just worked with movies that had a team, right? Like Superman is someone who's independent. He doesn't need a team. But we see him with the Justice Gang. I'm pretty sure he's working with them. Okay, he's not independent. So he's trying to push shoving Guardians of the Galaxy vibe into Superman. Freaking Star-Lord being Superman. Who else? Guy being Dave Batista, bro. We know. We know, bro. Mantis probably will be Hawk Girl. We know. From the trade, I can tell. Mr. Terrific will be Zoe Saldana, lady, I don't remember her name because he's serious, right? You can see that he's always serious. This is just this Guardians of the Galaxy, bro. I'll call it Guardians of the Galaxy V4. But man, this brother said that this is actually not on the level of Superman Returns or any of the live action Superman. Bro, it's over with, man. If this is true and I watch it and I see for myself, bro, DC's done. DC's done, bro. It's over. Now, the characters that might show up, everybody knows who they are. Batman or Supergirl, we already know. Like, who else is going to show up? Damn Batman. Who else? You know what I mean? But if this review is actually what I experienced as well, it's over with, bro. There's absolutely nothing that DC would do because this is meant to kick off this new universe. DC needs a new beginning, but like it's starting off wrongly, man. We can see from all the trailers him just losing his cool, being so emotional, acting like I want to say like a woman, but acting kind of feminine. I'm like, this is not Superman. Giving Lois attitude for her questioning him. It's like, well, what is this, bro? This is not Superman. Yo, watch the animated Justice League. That is Superman. Y'all need to, like, if you haven't watched that, watch it. Watch the Superman animated show. Watch the Superman movies. That him just being independent. That is Superman. Easy guy. He doesn't want. He hates injustice. He's always willing to help people, answer questions. But this is literally just losing his cool for a dog. Freaking, getting angry at Lewis for questioning. It's like, bro, you're not far from being evil, bro. Why would I not be scared? I'll be scared of you, bro. I'll be scared, especially if you can shoot out lasers. Like what? I'll be scared. What else did he say, man? He said it was underwhelming. That's kind of like very not so good, and I bet you, man, I know the Snyder cultists are gonna come after this movie, y'all. Like, we know they're gonna come. Like, we should just prep. Like, we know they're coming. So, Gunn was not the right person for Superman. I said this. The moment I realized he was directing Superman, I was just worried, bro. I was like, absolutely no way. Why DC hired him? We don't know. We don't know, man. Maybe all the W's in the MCU, they were like, well, Just try to kick off the DC universe, man. And they put him in charge of the DC studios, bro. Man, like, what are we doing? What are we doing? God is not vast in in terms of his movies. Like, he doesn't really know how to make a serious film. Like, even Creature Commanders is not serious. You know what I mean? He's always jokey, and his jokes are cringe. It's cringe. Guardians of the Galaxy, they are not like that in the comics, y'all. Like, I mean, they are funny, but like not to the level James Gunn made it to be. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was just absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I hated that movie, bro. I would never watch it again. So it's like, just stop with all this silly, goofy shit, bro. Sometimes you need to balance the act, okay? Understand who you're dealing with. That's very important. Imagine if Gunn directed God of War. I want you to picture this. If Gunn directed God of War, bro, it would be the most abominable shit that would happen in Hollywood. Okay? So we have to understand, when I make movies, I make animated films, okay? You guys can check it out on my other channel, Race Blaze. Link about your dick. When I make this type of animations, I look at the characters, okay? I know their personality. I know what they're capable of. I know their range, you know? Even if you want to make them funny, you got to do it in a way that fits their personality. You can't just change them, like have a 180-degree turn. You know, you can't do that. It must fit who they are. You know, like my other animation I did, I wanted creators to, be funny a little bit. And the way I did it, it wasn't meant to be funny, but it was funny. You know what I mean? So that kind of stuff. But Gunn doesn't really understand this. He thinks Superman is a clown. You think Superman, like, he's not a clown, bro. Take him seriously. With the dog thing, like, dude, stand Crypto, home, Crypto, home. It's like, fuck, what am I watching here, man? Bro, stop, man, stop. Anyways, y'all, we're gonna be watching for more reviews. If anyone comes out with a review, I saw in John Campion, one of his friends said, she doesn't like the film, that she hated it. So negatives are coming out. I mean, it's literally gonna just be wild, man. We got 2 more weeks, bro. Man, if this is meant to kick off the DC and all these comments are not good, bro, I guess DC remains a curse. If you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. I'll see you guys next time. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and peace.